would be the spirit. And basically, for most people, that the soul is very dormant, the car runs the body. That's why everything with Oprah and everything white people are dealing with now is based on the human spirit. That ain't shit. The same spirit that run you, run a motherfucking snail. That's everything down here. Black, white, cat, rat, and even some shit you goddamn clones has a spirit. The spirit runs this realm, period. Now, understand the difference between the spirit. The spirit would be your car. And it basically moves upon the face of the earth. Everything down here, including this fucking wall, has some form of vibrations. And that would be the aspect of the spirit. So know the difference between the spirit and the soul. The spirit, everything on planet Earth has a spirit. The snails, the worms, everything has a form of a spirit, including animals. That is what moves the physical earth. Okay? The soul is something totally different. That is a sun. That is a star. So, the spirit generally runs humans. But what happens here is the alchemical components come together in the body based on astronomical configurations of a certain cycle. That is the illumination and the life cycle of the planet upon graduation. That's the new age. And based on the certain astronomical configurations that is in the cosmos, you see what I'm saying? The microcosm has the same astronomical lineups. They call it cosmic alignments. So the same cosmic alignments that was in the astronomical aspect of what you call space is also in us. So because we had several cosmic alignments during the early part of 2000, May 5th, 2000, they had all these alignments. You might hear some of them, but there's several alignments that go on that the government don't even tell you about. They constantly, in astronomical configurations and alignments, that go on monthly. Eclipse, alignments, these types of moons. You understand what I'm saying? These types of conjunctions. You understand what I'm saying? These types of portholes. So there was a whole bunch of stuff that aligned during the first part from, let's say, from 99 on in. And all of a sudden, when these alignments happen, which I used to go and depend on herbs and stuff to ward off colds, I would wake up and go, damn, I got a cold coming on. Then the body would go back to sleep, and I wake up, the cold is gone. And ever since the spring of 2000, I haven't had to take no fucking damn herbs. No drugs or nothing. I just wake up, I'll feel something when I go back to sleep. The sleep enough cures it. That is because the spirit up till 2000 aligns what was basically trying to keep itself going, and basically I needed a lot of whatever to ward off certain colds and stuff. Then the alchemical change happened, and my soul illuminated. And once the soul took over, I no longer needed those particular things because the soul cancels out the spirit. And the soul starts to run the body because it is its own intelligence. You get it? So one is the spirit that runs the body for everything down here. Then there's an illumination that goes on based on an astronomical configurations that become a alchemical alignment in you, and then the soul becomes illuminated from a dormant state. Now, once that soul illuminates and takes over the body, it cancels out what is the spirit. Now let me give you an example. What happened? I used to come here and I used to meet up because I was a scientist. I have all these notes, and I would go down a series of notes. And it's just a way, just a part of my scholarly aspect. And I would have these little code things. I have one word on the paper, and that word would tap into what I'm going to talk about. That word might trigger a fucking 30 minutes of shit. Then all of a sudden, when the souls started coming into this intelligence, it started taking over the damn body, and then all of a sudden, it's his own person. And it started overriding even me. You see. And so therefore it's a whole nother intelligence comes in when I invoke the actual soul within my body, because it cancels out that particular intelligence that used to be dependent upon the spirit. Now, based on the alchemical configuration and alchemical and astronomical configuration, which goes back down to basically a lot of you all are going through the same thing. Now, to give you an example of what happened, that happened to me. There was a brother in Philadelphia, and I don't know if I don't think it happened the last time I was here. Did it happen when I was here the last time? The brother from Philadelphia named Barsisi. They had a party up in Philadelphia, and the sister, y'all met some of the sisters at the conference. The sister Delilah and them had a party up there. And he said, man, they was drinking and smoking and having a good time. And he left the party and stepped out in the street and got hit by a damn car. He got hit by a car so fucking hard until he had to climb from up under the damn car. Now, anybody that get hit by a damn car so much that your ass is up under the car, you fucked up. He climbed from up under the car. He's 62 years old. Got hit from the he didn't get hit. Motherfucker got run over. Crawled up from up under the car, walked 2 miles to his sister's house. Sister drove him back to the scene of the crime, and he said he's up in the middle of the crowd looking to see what happened. And they were like, well, Barsisi got hit. He was like, goddamn, I'm Barsisi. So he said the only thing happened, he had a little scratch on his face, and he had a scratch on his knee, and the next morning it healed up. 62 years old, not a complete, nothing happened, not a scratch, I'm talking about no bones broken, no nothing. You see, and he said the next morning, the very next morning, just like this in this book, the scratch on his face and on his knee healed up. So what we're talking about here is we're talking about people alchemically lining up based on astronomical configurations, that these particular African avatars or these particular people who had the ability to heal themselves, where one guy cuts out the heart, his heart gets cut out, he gets off the damn operating table, go put his heart back in his damn, in his body. This is not happening to us. It talks about it in a lot of alchemical texts of the glorified spirits. And it's not only just happened to us, it's happening not just to conscious, it's happening to people haphazardly. My mother got hit by a car, total lost the damn car. Total lost the damn car, and she's sitting up. They put it, the rescue squad came, they put her on the doggone gurney or whatever. And she complaining about her fucking car on the cell phone. The car tore to pieces, and not a scratch on her. She just had one little headache, and they took her to the hospital, and the first thing they started doing was trying to get her blood pressure down. Because to get the blood pressure down, they knew that it could kill her. Because what had happened was that the alchemical process started to whatever happened to heal whatever little bumps and bruises she had. And she's about 65 and basically walked away, and the car was completely demolished. And they kept in the hospital about 2 hours to try to get the blood pressure down, because they know it's policy. If they can get the blood pressure down, they can kill the person. Because the blood pressure was up so that the alchemical components could go throughout the body and heal rapidly. You see. So what we're talking about here, we're talking about a system that what happened with the brothers in Africa in the early 20th century, this is going on with us at this particular point. I know it because something, like I said, and I might have talked about this, I will hurt something. You know how you hurt something, you don't feel it, but you done hurt something, and the next morning you wake up sore. For every night when there's something either going on that I heard something or something is going on that I'm getting ready to come down with something, or something is going on that my body is out of line, I will have a burning sensation wherever that is on my body when I wake up that night. And then the next morning when I wake up, it's completely gone. So I don't even get to that particular thing. All I know is I have a burning sensation on the injured part of my body. And when I wake up the next day, it's completely gone.